What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try my best to make this video kind of short today. Just now talking to a friend of mine about the rat race. That is life, you know, that hamster wheel that you just seem to stay on all the time. We were talking about, you know, family, work, exercise, try to every once in a while get a little bit of you time in, and then it's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I know a lot of you guys out there feel that way. Thanks for that, Spencer. The whole rinse and repeat thing, it resonated with me. I was like, oh my God, ain't that the truth? But yeah, anyway, yeah, met Spencer through the channel. We have a lot in common, so we've been texting it up and stuff. I'm telling you, you guys are my friends. I make friends with, I've made several friends just through having done this channel. You know, people reaching out and being like, yo, hey, we have a lot in common, man. We should link up, you know, and just talk about life a little bit. And I'm all about that, man. I'm all about relationships. Wish I could do that with a lot more people. You know, unfortunately, I'm only one person, and the channel is almost at 700 subscribers at this point. So it gets to a point where it's like, Spencer right there. I'm live, Spencer. What's up, brother? I'll get with you after the video. But yeah, anyway, rat race, hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, just feels like you have very little time to yourself, you know. And quite honestly, for me, you know, that's one of the reasons that I became attracted to Kratom, and I guess just to opiates in general, you know, because it kind of gives you, at least in the short term, I don't want to try to reinvent the wheel here, and people, oh, come on, you know, it's not blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I try to be careful with what I say. At least in the short term, it gives you kind of some energy and a little mental clarity and fortitude to where you're like, okay, yeah, I can do this every day. Hell yeah, it makes it more manageable, you know, it makes it a little bit easier to cope with the fact that you are simply a hamster on a wheel running as fast as you can, and sometimes seemingly not getting anywhere, right? That's very exhausting, you know. Adulting is exhausting, you know. You know, and it's funny because we're all looking for just that. Just give me a short break. You know, my wife says that to me all the time. I just need like a week vacation. That's it. I just need a week away, kind of recharge, and then get back at it. And I'm thinking, damn, ain't that a shame? Because you're going to go away for a week. You're going to relax. You're going to chill, knowing the whole time that you are away, knowing that you have to go back to this rat race. You have to get back on the hamster wheel and just start right back at it, you know. That was my workout for today. I'm good. But you know, you do that for a week, and then you turn around and it's more stressful going back because you're coming off of a period of time where you haven't had X, Y, and Z responsibilities, and you've not got your workplace screaming at you to get this done, expecting you to be here and there, and you know, you don't have to be committed to that during that time, and you get this feeling of just like, but then as soon as you think about the life you have to go back to, you're like, oh, It's like vacations are like, ah. Oh. It's the best way I can describe a vacation. But, you know, and I say this all the time, I'm one of those people that I really do kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, wear my emotions on my sleeve, talk about it a lot on here. I ain't scared to talk about anything. You guys know that. We talk about bad sexual experiences. We talk about substance abuse. We talk about bowel movements and hemorrhoids, for God's sakes. We talk about hemorrhoids. We talked about just about everything on here. But I mean, I like it. It's fun. It's, you know, it feels good to get that, you know, to get that stuff off of your chest. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But yeah, it's, you know, I think the kratom and the opiates, they give you kind of that energy. They give you that little bit of, in the short term, fortitude and drive to kind of deal with and better cope with the hamster wheel that is life, and especially as an adult, you know. I mean, kids think they have it hard, man, you know. And it's funny because I told the story yesterday where my 17-year-old son, my eldest son, just got his first job with a grocery store right up the street. It's funny, it's a lot of people, that's their first job. My first job, 32 years ago, was actually at a grocery store, the same exact, well, not in the same location of grocery store that he's at, but I also worked my first job at Food Lion, a very popular grocery store chain down south. I don't know if, I'm sure they have Food Lions up north, but I know it's, you know, more of a popular southern and kind of, you know, midwestern sort of grocery store. But and there are some more different other more popular ones as you head north. But anyway, you know, and he's going to school a few hours a day. You know, he doesn't usually have a lot of homework. He's in his senior year, so he's not having a lot of homework. Goes to school, you know, 4 to 5 hours a day. And last week, he had his first week where he actually worked a couple of days. They asked him to come in on Sunday, so he came in and he worked 9 to 5 on Sunday. In his defense, it was his first time ever doing this job, and they were teaching him to run a cash register. It was on a Sunday. We're in North Carolina, where if somebody even hints that there's going to be some sort of inclement weather, people are like, oh shit. And the first thing people do is run to the grocery store, stock up on bread, stock up on milk. You got any batteries? Make sure to get some AA batteries. You know, give me, you know, just whatever, anything that they can possibly, you know, charcoal so they can cook out if their power goes out. You know, I live in a place where there is a very temperate climate, and we don't deal with inclement weather a lot around here, right? And so when something comes up, or it even gets hinted at by, you know, a meteorologist on television, or your news even hints that there could possibly be, you know, some inclement weather, everybody around here freaks out and runs to the grocery store. So my son's first time working was this past Sunday. Well, they, you know, dropped on the news that there could possibly be a little bit of inclement weather this weekend and on into the beginning of this week, in the form of, you know, like some sleet, maybe a few flurries here or there. Well, hey, where I live, that's all it takes, bro. This ain't no Connecticut or Massachusetts or New England. This ain't no place where, you know, it's normal, just, oh, every day, no big deal, that I got to walk out and there's 13 inches of snow on the ground. You know, it ain't, up there, they're prepared for it. The people are prepared for it. They have the snow shovels. They have all the equipment to, you know, quickly clean off their car. They'll go out and drive in that. They'll go to school in that shit. Here, you see 3 or 4 flurries come down, up, close the schools, send everybody home. All the parents have to leave and go home because now their kids are out of school. You know, it's just it's a madhouse around here if you get that, if you get any sort of hint at inclement weather. So of course, when he had his first day of work, he really did get a trial by fire sort of situation. They were trying to show him how to work the cash register. Turns out they really needed him to work the cash register, because he said he just did order after order after order, and he said he'd get to the point where he finishes this huge order where somebody's got groceries stacked up that far over the top of their buggy, and then as soon as he get that done, he's like, whew, look over, here comes somebody else, another order stacked up this tall up above the top of the buggy. And I was like, yeah, that's, that's it, man. That's what you deal with. And so he did that. And his first day, I was proud of him though, because even after, what the hell happened to my lighting there? I was proud of him though, because even after having that sort of first day experience, he still had a good attitude about it. He was still excited to get a job. I was afraid he was going to go in there and have a first day like that, and then was going to be like, damn, this ain't for me. I don't know if I want to do this. But he didn't. He manned up, which is pretty good for a 17-year-old. And then the very following night, the manager, this was on Monday, he was out of school that day because it was Martin Luther King Day, but his manager actually messaged him at like 5:30 in the evening, said he had a couple of people call out, wanted to know if he want to ride up there and get a couple hour work for a couple of hours. So he comes out of the bedroom at about 5:30 on Monday evening, and of course by this time, I'm in my pajamas, we're sitting around, just wife's about to cook dinner, we're hanging out with the baby, just relaxing, being at home together as a family. And my son comes walking out. Austin texted me, wanted to know if I wanted to work for a couple hours. I was like, because I have to take him. He doesn't have a car and his license yet. We've been waiting on that, waiting for him to get a job so that he can pay for his insurance. This ain't like when I was young. When I turned 16, you turn 16, you get your license. There's no provisions to the license at all. You can have a full-on, all rights, all privileges sort of license. Well, now you can't do that in my state. You have to be 18 to get that all privileges, non-provisional sort of license, right? From 16 to 17, there's provisions on it. You got to be driving to school. You got to be driving to and from work, that sort of thing. And you have to wait till you're 18 to get the actual license. And our thing was, he didn't have a job at that point. His school is 2 miles up the street, so he wouldn't even have to ride the bus for very far to go to school. My parents, his grandparents, live literally a half mile on the other side of his school. So if ever necessary, if he leaves early, had test him one day and the bus wasn't driving home or taking them home, my father, who lives a half mile on the other side of the school, my mom and dad are both retired. They're older, so they can't really watch like my infant son, because they can't be, pulling and tugging on a little baby at their age, although they do come and see him all the time. They're freaking obsessed with him. It's very cute. But my eldest, my dad and mom are really good about helping out in that way. My dad will come get him, pick him up from school a couple of days a week, take him home, because as a senior, he gets out earlier than what a lot of other kids do, and so there's no bus. He doesn't get to ride the bus home. And so my dad and then my mother-in-law, split up a schedule to pick him up every day and take him home. So anyway, not sure where the hell I was going with that. Where the hell was I going with that? I was talking about his job, and I was proud of him, the fact that okay, so yeah, the following night after working that Sunday, where it was a very, very busy, like trial by fire sort of day for him, the next night, his boss messages him and asks him if he wants to come in for a couple of hours. So he walked out and told me that, and of course I was like, oh, we're all chilling. I didn't really want to, but I talked to my son about this sort of thing, and I'm thankful for him that he has the kind of father that spends time talking to him about it, because I've told him, if you go in there and you don't complain, You do a good job. You put pep in your step. You act like you're actually there to get a job done. You have a good attitude about it. You ask questions when they need to be asked. If they ever call you and ask you to come in and work some hours because some folks didn't show up or something, do that. Take them up on the opportunity. And because he doesn't want to go to college yet, right? He wants to go right into the workforce. And I told him the best thing that you can do if you're not wanting to go to college is plant your feet somewhere like that and then just go in there and do a freaking bang up job. Don't make excuses. Be there when they want you to be there. Leave when they want you to leave. Do everything that they want you to do while you're there, and do it with a great attitude and a thumbs up and a smile on your face. Learn everything that you can learn. Learn the cash register. Learn the food line to go, where where you shop for like maybe older people or whatever, and then you help by putting their groceries in their car and stuff like that. That's what he actually was hired for, but they are wanting to cross-train him on, different things. And I have encouraged him, hey, do that. So when his boss called him after that first Sunday, they called him the next night on Monday, he said, well, let me go ask my dad. And I told him, I was like, get your clothes on. I'll run you up there real quick. So I did, and I ran him up there. And he went that night, and he said what he did that night was a lot easier. They had him get some carts, and then he ran a register for a few minutes. And then the rest of the time, he just kind of, it slowed down a lot at that point because it's, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. So the rush was over, and his boss was very appreciative that Hayden came in to help out when he wasn't actually scheduled. So he told him he could stick around. He was like, basically you can stay for as long as you want to, just stay and watch this lady run the cash register, learn some stuff, ask her questions, whatever. So he was going to let him stay and get some hours. And then he also gave him a little gift card to Food Lion just to say, here, thanks for coming in when you really didn't have to come in. So I'm proud of him. He did a great job. But I said all that to say this. That Sunday night, he got home and he went, that boy got home, went straight into his pajamas. And by the time I walked back there to tell him that Chrissy was cooking dinner, he was like, he was out, right? And and all he does, he goes to school 4 or 5 hours a day, and that was his first day ever working a job. Now, I agree, if it's not something that you do all the time, especially something like, and there's the mental stress of like, it's the first time he's ever done it, right? It's all new to him. And so when you're doing something new or learning a new task at work or something like that, there is some mental stress that kind of goes along with that. Mental stress can tire you out physically as well, right? So you guys know this. But I thought to myself, he went home and was just like, oh, it was the worst thing. I'm exhausted, and he laid down. He worked from 9 to 5 with a 30-minute lunch. So technically he worked about 7.5 hours with a couple of 10-minute breaks mixed in there. So technically he did all of 7 hours and 10 minutes of working. And he acted like he had just been through the biggest ordeal ever. You could just tell he was exhausted, and I was thinking, just wait, bro. Just wait, just wait. You're having to do this sort of thing 5 days a week, 6 days a week for some people, plus longer hours. Plus, when you get off and you go home, the work doesn't end. You're having to go pick up a child or take a child to soccer practice or football practice, or go home and get some dinner ready for the family, or go home and try to actually like clean your house a little bit because you have a family that messes it up relentlessly. It's just a constant pacing through life that it's just like, I can't freaking catch a breath. Feel like you can't catch a break, can't catch a breath. And it was just funny to see him like, but it's new to him. That aspect of it is new to him. And he has to learn it a little bit at a time. And I'll say for a 17-year-old young man, he's handling it pretty damn good. And my son is a very, very kind of shy, withdrawn sort of individual, which, you know, by looking at him, you will kind of wonder why. I mean, the kid looks like a little model. He's a handsome young man, athletic looking, but he is a very withdrawn hermit sort of person. You know, he'll game online with friends, but there is no getting together with friends and hanging out in person. They just don't do it. They just don't. You know, and that's something my wife and I had to learn the hard way, because when he first came to live with us, we were like, dude, what, you know, I mean, talk to some people at school, you know, get some friends that you can hang out with, come over, bring them over one weekend night, you know, we'll take you guys to the movie, we'll, you know, buy some pizza, you can have a friend over, y'all can watch the UFC on Saturday night, hang out at the house, you know, because we're thinking when we're younger, that's how you did things. You know, years ago, before there's the phones and all the gaming systems, and all, you know, that's what we did. We hung out with friends, you know, it made shit fun, right? Instead of just sitting at home just, you know, staring at the wall or watching the grass grow, it made it fun, right? Kids these days, bro, nah. I mean, some of them, maybe. I don't know how it looks for, you know, all the other kids his age there, but for my son, nah. I mean, he's been living with us for almost 4 years now, and there's been 1 or 2 times where he had a couple of boys over to hang out, and that was to train kickboxing. Because my son is really into kickboxing. We have all the equipment over there. I have a full garage. I have a heavy bag. I've got headgear. I've got gloves. I've got leg pads. You know, we got the whole shebang over there. And a couple of his friends were on the down low, kind of well, they call it taking a fight. They were doing this little event or something that one of their friends was putting on, where they were all putting gloves on and they were boxing each other. And they were asking Hayden, because they knew he trained, they were asking Hayden to help train them. And so he did that a couple of times. And outside of that, never had any friend over, never has had a friend over. And I mean, he's somewhat sociable, because I see him with people and talk to him, but it's just not something that fuels him. He has no desire to do it. So, you know, he just kind of hangs out around the house. But he's one of those people, and I'm a little bit like that too. I get recharged by being by myself. You know, you ever met one of those people that is truly a social butterfly type of person? And they're one of those people that they go and they be around other people, and that actually recharges them, that actually regenerates them, rejuvenates them. You know, they get energy from that. Me, I'm the opposite. Bro, it's a chore for me to go to a gathering where there's a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, it stresses me out, you know. And it's one of those things where after 2 hours, I'm ready to go home, you know, and be with the people that I feel most, my inner circle, where I feel the most comfortable. And I'm actually recharged from just being by myself. And my wife and I go on vacation, bro. We go on vacation with the intent of being as secluded as possible, away from everyone that we can possibly be away from. You know what an idea of a good vacation for us is? A cabin, sitting on top of the mountains, no neighbors, no anything, just being able to sit up there, be with ourselves and our little family. We even, before we get to the cabin, we'll stop at a grocery store and buy $150, $200 worth of groceries, so that we can cook while we are there and just not have to leave, you know. And I mean, we found a couple of things that we enjoy doing. We went down to the mountains Christmas time this past year, and we enjoyed that, looking at Christmas lights and stuff. We did go into town a few times, but, you know, you're not in a social setting. You know, you're walking around with your family, looking at the Christmas lights, walking in and out of different shops and things like that. You're not in a social situation where you're expected to talk to and communicate with and get to know people, right? Because when I get in that situation, I get exhausted. It's exhausting for me, right? And I'm just ready to go home. And it's nothing against the people. It's not that I don't like the people. There's a lot of people that I like, have a lot of respect for, seem like great people, and I have, you know, enjoyable moments with them when I'm around them. Despite it all, I'm just ready to go home, bro. Leah Andre NL7MT says, I wouldn't say this unless there was experiential evidence that it works, but using black seed oil with my dose, I went from 10 grams to 5 grams per day, with the 5 grams per day sustaining me until the next morning, and with no kratom hangover. I take 2 grams around 2 and am solid until the next day. I wonder if that's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. that you take that. Feel much better. Please try and share a video. I dropped from 10 in one day and then feeling the effects more. Well, I will say too, Leah, that it may be Leah. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. There's no way for me to know by looking at it. But well, I will say too, you're only on 10 grams. So there is kind of a happy spot with Kratom where if you're not a person who's taking too much, you really don't experience a lot of withdrawals. And I remember being there for about the first year or two. About the first year or two that I was using Kratom, I was only using probably 4 to 5 grams per day. I would take maybe 8 of the 500 milligram capsules in a day. I'd take maybe 4 in the morning, and then I would take four more when I got home at night, for a total of like 4 grams per day. I can't even sniff 4 grams per day now. I'm probably 5-6 times that at this point. Maybe more, to be honest with you. Not that I'm proud of that, but it truly is a progressive sort of thing, especially with the increased tolerance. It's just, you know, that's the way it happens. But I will say, when I was taking that amount, I do remember a couple of times like not taking it at night or going a while without it, and I had a little bit of discomfort, you know, just because I had been taking it regularly for, you know, over a year or two. So there definitely was some dependency there. But I mean, the severity was so much less than what it would be now, or what it is now when I try to stop. But it's because I'm taking a pretty small amount. So you've only taken 10 grams. So in reality, even without the black seed oil, your withdrawals are likely or would likely be relative to how much you're taking, right? And so I think that probably could have something to do with it. But no, the black seed oil, I promised Leah that I would mention this, because you're not the only person that has said that. I've heard other people give a lot of praise to black seed oil in helping with, you know, something like kratom withdrawal. So there you go, guys. There's another tip for you, for any of you guys out there that are tapering right now. You're close to, you know, getting down to those lower amounts where shit's getting serious, you know, and you need some stuff to really kind of help you through the you know, discomfort and everything of withdrawal. Black seed oil. Get you some black seed oil, and Leah, let me know down below if like how is it helping you. I mean, obviously it helps with the withdrawals, because she says here that she went from 10 grams per day to 5 grams per day, and once she took the black seed oil, it sustained her just fine to the next morning. No kratom hangover, and apparently no withdrawals either. So the black seed oil obviously helps with that. But drop some details down below, if you would, Leah, on how exactly is it helping you? Because, you know, people learn from that. People will hear me say this, and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna give that a try. So and I would like people to know what it is that's helping them, how it's helping them, right? Yeah, one more. At Joylyn Francis. Okay, so I live in a rural area. I can't just buy a decent brand locally. I looked on the AKA site, and what what I purchase locally isn't on there. Just curious, what is the best brand y'all have found for energy without jitters? That's the only reason I take it now, but not thrilled with my results even when I take 6 grams at once. If I take any more at a time, I get sick. So just want some input since I have to order it online and don't want to waste my money on poor product and wrong products. All right, I'm afraid this is going to cut me off, Joy, and I have a good answer for you. So I'm not going to read the rest of your comment. But thank you for the comment. If you guys have any suggestions for Joy, besides the one I'm about to tell her, please drop it. Let her know if it's good quality. Let her know something that's going to really give her the effects that she wants, the energy, but not jitters, not the wobbles, not just being tired. Because I've had a couple of, or at least one experience. I hope Yo Kratom never reaches out to me because I would never sponsor their product. But I reached out and got something from Yo Kratom one time, and I got that shit, and it literally just made me tired and gave me the wobbles. It did not give me any euphoria, did not give me any energy, and I can only assume that it was just a poor product, you know, and the alkaloids were just all off in it. I literally threw away almost a whole kilo. It's a $60 kilo. Super, super cheap for a kilogram. But it became evident to me pretty quickly, you're getting what you pay for, right? And Kratom's just like anything else. You know, and you want to go somewhere that they do the lab testing and all that so that the alkaloids are higher. Spencer has recommended a brand to me recently. It is online. It's called Super Speciosa, SPECEOSA, Speciosa. Super Speciosa is the name of the company, and he said that it's really, really top-notch quality. They deliver it to you within 3 to 5 business days. It's very consistent. They give you you know, you can get coupons and stuff like that for 20% off. You know, once you've been with them for a while, you can get free product, all that stuff. But he said more than anything, it's lab tested, and they actually send copies of the lab testing with it to let you know this is top quality shit, premium quality shit. Okay, so it's called Super Speciosa, and I'll type it in the comments as well so you can see it. But they got plenty of stuff to choose from on there, actually, and also because it's high quality, you can take less. And there are actually testimonials on the website where they're talking about that, and there's people on there saying, I love it because I can get the same effects, but I don't have to take as much because it's more potent, because the alkaloids are all there, and then they lab test it, and it's just a good quality product, right? Spencer recommended it. He said it's the only place he shops at now. So I actually ordered me one. It's supposed to be here either Thursday or Friday. So either tomorrow or Friday I'll get it, and I might talk a little bit about it then, how it is. But that's a good one for you, Joy. So give them a look, and maybe that'll be something that would be good for you. All right, guys, I gotta go. Love you very much. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Subscribe to the channel if you've not. Liked the video. Comment down below. Let me know where you're at. Tell your story. Feel empowered. We'll see you next time. Peace.